Let's talk about it. I'm a therapist. I'm a social worker. I'm an influencer. I was a photographer for influencers. I live in Utah. I was raised in Utah. I was raised Mormon, and I'm a mommy. So this book just really felt like it was written for me. I know one common criticism of the book is that they didn't like Natalie. I personally don't think it's necessary to like the characters in a book in order to like the book. For me, I like a book if it's interesting enough to keep me reading, if it offers me a perspective or gets me thinking, and just if I generally have fun reading it. In Mormonism, we're taught that motherhood is the highest and holiest calling. It sets people up to fail. This is very taboo. You cannot say that you do not like being a mother. We see that with Natalie a lot in this book. She confines herself to this very small box. We talk about patriarchy, we talk about sexism, we talk about misogyny, but we don't talk a lot about internalizing those things. She has internalized these messages and she feels like this is what she has to do even though she clearly doesn't like it. When Caleb wants to be a kindergarten teacher, it like quite literally gives her the ick. Well, she already had the ick. I think this book also goes to show how role modeling impacts us. You can have all of this messaging, but if you have just one person giving you a different perspective, it's really helpful, and Natalie doesn't have that. She's unhappy in motherhood. She tries to talk about it with her mother-in-law who gives her pharmaceuticals. She tries to talk about it with her mom who's like, oh, I just pretend like people are watching me. And then Natalie copies that and she actually has people watch her as a way to cope. And then the one thing I didn't like, and this is just me in general right now, I really don't like in-group fighting. So this was a book written about a trad wife. Trad wives are getting a lot of heat. These feelings are not specific to trad wives. As a therapist, I can tell you that. I'm so tired of people dictating how women should live their lives. Women should do whatever makes them the most sane and happy. And that has been researched to have the best outcomes for their children. There's nothing wrong with baking sourdough bread. There's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom, but it is a very vulnerable position to have to rely financially on a man. Of course, the great irony is none of these trad wives are relying financially on their men because they make the money. They're not the best example of the most vulnerable position women can be in. Anyway, 5 out of 5 book, loved it. I would recommend this to everyone because I think even if someone hates it, it still opens up really interesting conversations. If you want more book reviews, let me know. I do read a lot.